Hello, my name is Dawn Hall, and I'm a faith community nurse for Friendship United Methodist Church in the Brown Summit community. And we've come together today to make a series of videos to help you get back into your community and into your church safely. In this video, we're going to talk about hand washing. And I know most of you are now rolling your eyes or feel like you might doze off, or you're doing your grocery list in your head because you have heard this so many times. However, I spy on people when I go out into public, and when I go into public restrooms, I am not impressed with what I see when people are washing their hands. So I was hoping if I put a little science in this video, it might help you be more compliant with your hand washing because you know why you're washing your hands. We've heard hand washing is important because of flu epidemics, not to catch the cold, for many reasons. We wash our hands because we've worked in the garden and we have dirt on our hands, but that is visible. And yes, there are germs in there, but that's visible dirt. We can see it and we wash it off. However, we'll concentrate today on the COVID-19 since that's what's first and foremost in our mind. And so let me tell you a little bit about the COVID virus. It is a tiny little particle that is called an enveloped virus, meaning it is encased in a lipid layer, and that is fat. A fatty layer on the outside protects it against water. When you think about fat and water, you realize that, I'm going to put a little oil in the water here, that oil and water separate. So if you just run water over your hands, what's going to happen is it's just going to run over the top of this virus on your hands. So you can see how oil and water separate, which is what happens with this virus if you were to only use water on your hands. We use soap and water because it's a chemical reaction. And the chemical reaction with the friction of our hands together will tear open that little fatty layer around the viral particle. And as it breaks that outer layer off, it renders it inactive. So that's why we wash our hands with COVID-19. However, it takes 20 seconds to do this vigorous action of washing our hands, breaking off those fatty layers. And remember, you have lots of crevices in your hands, under your fingernails, your cuticles, places little sticky viruses like to go and hide. So that's why you need to rub vigorously and get this chemical reaction going, and then you rinse your hands off and you rinse that virus down the drain. So let's go into a restroom, and I want to show you how to wash your hands properly. All right, you've entered a public restroom and you're going to wash your hands. You're going to turn the water on first, and I would leave that water running the entire time. I'm going to wet my hands thoroughly before I put the soap in my hand, because if you've ever done that before, it just washes it down the drain if your hands are not wet. Put a generous amount of soap in your hand, in the palm, and then begin to coat your hands. This needs to be done for 20 seconds, and you're going to make sure you get the palms, the outside of the hands, in between the fingers, the thumbs, and the fingernails. I've seen some people do this. Once again, this should be done for 20 seconds. You can sing happy birthday to yourself twice to get the 20 seconds in. Remember, this is a chemical reaction that is breaking apart that COVID virus, rendering it inactive, and now you're going to rinse it down the drain. Something I want you to think about is this is a frequently touched surface. Your hands are now clean. Do not turn that water off yet. Get your paper towel, and you want to dry your hands thoroughly. Wet hands are a place that germs like to grow. So get your hands dried. I use my paper towel and I turn off the faucet here. Also, if you do not have a door that you can push out with your shoulder and you have a doorknob or a handle, I keep this paper towel in my hand and use that to get out of the restroom. If you are in a public restroom and there is no garbage can by the door, I just walk out and throw it in the nearest receptacle. If you're setting up your restrooms in your church, I encourage you to put that receptacle by the door so when people open it with the paper towel, they can just immediately drop it in the receptacle. Hand washing is your best defense against getting germs off of your hands, but we often are not in a place where we can wash our hands. So hand sanitizer is your next best option. And so we will go over that now and how to use it. It's always good to leave in your car, and it's something that you will be using at church when you enter and leave. Now oftentimes we can't wash our hands, especially if you've walked out of a grocery store. Now you're getting into your car. You need to take your mask off. Your hands are dirty. So I suggest that you keep hand sanitizer in your hands. Everybody has gone crazy and is making their own hand sanitizer now. So read the label again. Make sure it is 60% or greater alcohol. If this expires, the alcohol percentage goes down and it may not be as effective. So keep this in your car. I keep mine in the pouch on the side of the door, so when I open the door it's there and I'm not reaching across and contaminating things as I get into the car. When you use hand sanitizer, you're going to get, I would say, I usually get about a quarter size amount. You're going to wipe it around and you want to keep it on your hands wet for 20 to 30 seconds. You want to cover your entire hand, your thumbs, in between your fingers. I like to get my wrist, and you want to try to get your underneath your fingernails, or at least the tips of your fingers, and just keep working it. Don't have a clock. You don't want to touch your cell phone. Sing happy birthday to yourself twice, and you'll know that 20 seconds has gone by. Once you have washed your hands or sanitized them and you need to touch your face, now is the time to do it. Anytime your hands have touched anything in a public area, please do not touch your face. These viruses live on surfaces, different ones for different periods of time. And it has come across to me, several people have said, well, the CDC says you cannot get COVID-19 from touching a surface and touching your face. That was incorrect. They said it is not the primary way we get the virus. Especially if you are a high-risk patient, this is a possibility. It is very difficult not to touch your face, and I can tell you right now, as soon as you put your mask on, or as soon as your hands are dirty, your nose is going to itch. There are different ways to try to get to your nose, but if you're in a store and you've got your mask on and you really need to touch your face, I suggest you either go back to your car, into the restroom, and wash your hands, and try not to touch your face with dirty hands. So let's go over this one more time. You're going to turn your water on, wet your hands, soap up your hands, get all the surfaces of the hands. 20 seconds. Rinse your hands, dry them thoroughly, and use your paper towel to turn off the water and get out the door. Thank you for watching this video today.